Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Calm is a mask. Policy is the blade. You don't win by bleeding feelings on the table. You win by making the table yours. The unreactive face denies the enemy a handle. The quiet rule, enforced without ceremony, turns resistance into a costly hobby. Your mood is not the message. Your procedure is. Heat is a handle. Watch how quickly hands grab it. A co-worker drops a snide comment on a call. Your pulse spikes. You argue. The meeting derails. They wanted your heat. The spectacle gives them cover. In traffic, a stranger cuts you off. You blast the horn, chase, and hand them control of your next 10 minutes. On a date, a late reply gnaws at you. You triple text to clarify, and curiosity dies under your storm. Visible anger, loud excitement, open panic, each becomes a grip. Others pull to swing you around. Emotion is not free, it's a discount tag. Every surge says, this person moves easily. Price falls. Now, cut the scene differently. Still surface, moving depth. Your face is quiet. Your hands are working. Agenda sent the night before. 3 bullets. 1 decision. Terms posted. Pre-read required. 1 reminder only. Scope changes. Move dates. Deadline set. Friday, 4 p.m. Choose speed or certainty. You do not lecture. You do not beg. You do not perform concern. The room feels your silence and reads the policy behind it. Someone shows up late, no scolding, just rescheduling. Someone adds, 1 more thing, fine, new price, new clock. Someone fires a baiting remark, no reply, but notes go out afterward with owners and dates. Your stillness buys time. The paperwork buys position. You are not passive. You are precise. The unreactive advantage is simple. Bait ignored, tests priced, outcomes clocked. A client attempts the quick tweak after sign-off. You don't defend your effort. You enforce the gate. Happy to include in phase 2, estimate attached. A friend tries a pin. Guilt trip. You never have time anymore. You refuse the courtroom. You offer a window. Sunday, 3 to 5. If not, next week. A manager floats an emergency at 6 p.m. You choose a method over martyrdom. Can deliver a slice by 10 or full by noon. Which cost do we pay? The mask holds. The blade moves. You do less talking and more billing, sometimes with money, always with time. Understand why this works. People reach for the lever that moves you cheapest. If your lever is outrageous, they buy it with a sentence. If your lever is flattery, they buy it with a smile. If your lever is in panic, they buy it with the word urgent. Remove the levers. Replace them with prices. Calm face. No tells to exploit. Cold moves. Clear terms. Visible costs. Consistent enforcement. When resisting you is expensive, compliance becomes charity to themselves. This is not suppression. It is strategy. You are not a glacier. You are a dam with gates. You release on schedule, not on scream. You answer in blocks, not in drips. You praise in public, correct in private. You let the log carry the memory, so your temper does not have to. You do not shrink. You sharpen. Less theater, more teeth. Picture the room again, a storm of opinions, hands, and half-demands. You wait. Eyes settle. The water stills around the anchor. Then 1 line, 2 paths. Ship Tuesday and log issues, or slip a week and close 2 blockers. Choose now. Decisions appear because you priced delay. Relief spreads because order arrived without humiliation. Your calm isn't softness. It's a cover fire for the rules. Over time, your reputation changes temperature. You are known not as nice or mean, but as clear. People prepare for you. They respect your windows. They bring options, not chaos. They call you when outcomes matter because you don't melt when the room heats up. The mask protects you from petty thieves. The blade protects the mission. Keep your face calm so no one can steer you. Keep your policy sharp so you can steer the world. When they tug, nothing moves. When you move, everything does. Hold the mask, swing the blade. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. You were taught to be loud, to be believed. Show your heart, perform your passion. Reply before the bubble stops bouncing. Bend fast so no one calls you difficult. But politics is not a talent show, it is a system of gates. The crowd rewards entertainment, power respects enforcement. Learn the difference, and your voice becomes law, even when it is quiet. Confession theater turns honesty into ammunition. You think authenticity means full display, so you narrate your doubts, your stress, your private timelines. The room nods warmly and takes notes. Oversharing maps your weak points, when to press, where to guilt, which deadlines you'll break for fear of disappointing. Clinical rule. Authenticity is a calibrated signal, not a live stream. Tell the truth that moves a decision. Keep the rest as noise control. At work, you publish your calendar because transparency builds trust. Instead, it builds pathways straight into your focus hours. You apologize in paragraphs to show good faith, but paragraphs become blueprints. You said no because of X. Let me erase X. In relationships, you unload your history on date 2 to prove you're real. It feels intimate. It functions like a clearance sale. Shift to selective disclosure with posted rules. No meetings after 4. 2 revisions, then scope review. Urgent items must include owner and deadline. In romance, I plan once, I keep plans. When asked, why? Remember that explanations are optional and consequences are persuasive. Share outcomes, not organs. Clean signals invite respect. Raw nerves invite steering. Passion without policy is unpaid labor with better lighting. Big feelings look like commitment. Without rules, they become endless negotiation. You raise your voice to show care, then spend days negotiating exceptions to the standard you yelled about. Precision outperforms enthusiasm. Define the rule, the breach, the consequence, and the review short, cold, consistent. The quieter you say it, the stronger it lands, because there is nothing to argue, only gravity to feel. Examples clarify. The team misses a service-level promise. The loud move, a fiery town hall, dramatic finger-pointing, promises to never let this happen again. The effective move, SLA, is 24 hours. 2 tickets hit 48 hours. Pager shifts, move to you for the next cycle. Review, Friday, 10. 4 lines, no adjectives, behavior changes because the weather changed. In dating, you complain about mixed signals and ask for more reassurance. That creates a reassurance economy, high volume, low value. Instead, plans by Wednesday, or I'm unavailable this week. You do not police feelings, you gate access. Responsiveness versus reliability decides the kind of respect you receive. Instant replies read as needed when they are not tied to delivery. Schedules read as reliability because they convert intention into predictable flow. Rebrand the habit. Fast is a mood, dependable is a system. Calm cadence is the real respect signal. You respect your own time enough to guard it, and others learn to meet you there. Crisp scenes. Slack pings explode. Old you replies in 90 seconds, fragments your focus, then apologizes for the slow response. New you protects deep work, ships the unit, and answers at your designated windows with 1 paragraph and the next checkpoint. Old you text back within seconds to prove care. 3 hours later, you are still managing a conversation that solves nothing. New you reply twice a day with a concrete plan or a clean pass. Old you say whenever works, and then scrambles. New you offer 2 slots and close the book when they pass. The world reads cadence as authority. The room relaxes because a clock, not a mood, runs the contact. There is a cost to quiet enforcement. You will lose the audience that fed on your volume. They liked your confessions because it made managing you easy. They liked your passion because it removed their need to decide. They liked your lightning-fast responses because it turned your life into their buffer. Let them go. Their leaving is not a loss of love. It is a loss of leverage over you. To lock the new regime, build 3 instruments. First, a policy board. 5 one-line rules for the zones where you leak: time, revisions, meetings, emergencies, reschedules. Post them once. Enforce them always. Second, a cadence clock. 2 daily response windows. A weekly planning window. A monthly review where you adjust the rules by outcomes, not by guilt. Third, a sanctions ladder chosen while calm. Miss once, scope adjusts. Miss twice, access shrinks. Miss thrice, role changes. Publish the ladder, then follow it without anger. Anger is fragile. Policy is steel. Remember optics. Power judges by appearance first, substance second. Quiet certainty, clean boundaries, short statements, and on-time delivery appear strong before anyone checks the work. Loud emotion appears insecure, even when your heart is pure. If you must raise your voice, do it to carry the rule across the room, not to convince the room you feel deeply. Feeling is free. Enforcement is scarce. Scarcity moves markets. You will face tests. Someone will demand a diary to really understand. Decline with form. Here are the terms. Someone will push for just this once. Point to the ladder. Someone will bait you into confession with flattery. Offer your policy instead. The test isn't about love. It's about who owns the frame. Own it softly, and you own it for a long time. Carry this into private life. Family conflict swells. You used to vent the whole archive. Now you set the question, the choice, and the check-in date. Friends want your immediate take on every drama. You move into a scheduled call and keep the rest mute. A partner equates passion with realness. You answer with consistency. Kept plans, steady tone, clear terms. Passion still exists, but it lives inside rails. Rails make speed possible. Speed without rails makes wreckage. None of this makes you cold. It makes you legible. You are still honest about rules. You are still passionate about outcomes. You are still responsive on schedule. You still bend within options you can honor. You speak less because your policies speak for you, and they speak the same way whether you slept well or not. That is trust at scale. The culture rewards noise for a day. It bows to structure for years. Choose your kingdom. Retire confession theater. Keep strategic truth. Retire passion without policy. Keep the knife of rules. Retire frantic responsiveness. Keep reliable cadence. When you stop auditioning and start governing, attention quiets, results climb, and your name begins to mean something even when you say nothing. Tell less, set terms, and let calm cadence carry your respect. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. You react before you think because the shadow grabs the microphone. It lives close to the nerves, faster than breath, eager to trade your dignity for 30 seconds of peace. Approval hunger cues the music. Conflict anxiety raises the volume. Status insecurity passes the hat. By the time your wiser self reaches the stage, a speech has been given in your name, and the room is already voting on it. The script was learned early. Be seen to be safe. You discovered that quick smiles and quicker words could warm a cold house. If you answered first, the storm moved around you. If you explained your heart, adults softened. The nervous system stamped a rule, Speed is security. Years later, the body still obeys it. A notification pings and your thumbs sprint. In meetings, you narrate your thought process as if silence were treason. After mistakes, you staple apology coupons to every sentence to purchase mercy you haven't even been asked to pay for. Offer cool empathy to the child who survived by performing, then notice how the old wisdom empties you now. Instant texts become contracts your day must honor. Rambling meetings blur your authority into background noise. Apology discounts lower the price of your word. You leave rooms dizzy, as if your voice spent the hour chasing runaway carts. The shadow claps chaos, loves a live mic. Cut power to the stage. When your chest heats and your mouth opens on reflex, close it gently and place your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Breathe low, count 4, hold 4, release 6. Write one sentence before you speak one sentence. If a reply arrives with heat, draft in notes and set a 10-minute timer. You are not withholding love, you are protecting authorship. Thought is not the enemy of care, it is the spine of it. Fear then paints urgency on ordinary delays. A pause becomes a verdict, a slow reply becomes exile. Your mind screens a thriller where you lose the job, the friendship, the love, unless you act now. So you offer concessions no one requested. Totally fine to push my deadline. I can take it on. No worries if not. In truth, there were no worries until you wrote them into the air. Install an unsentimental law. Act on behavior, not stories. Behavior is what can be seen and counted, who shows up, what gets done, when it gets done, how repair is handled. If behavior is unclear, ask for clarity. Do not invent a motive to quiet adrenaline. Simple prompts tame the phantom. Confirm the task and timeline. Are you requesting a change or sharing a thought? What decision does this affect? The story will shout that you are cold. Evidence, when gathered, proves you are awake. Practice micro moves that train your nerves. Batch messages at 2 set times. Reply with one clean line and a question when you feel the urge to send an essay. In meetings, speak once, then write the decision on a shared page and fall silent. When guilt rises to fill the gap, let it float past like a cloud. Silence becomes your agent, negotiating better terms than panic ever could. The shadow also invents emergency meanings in silence. You tell yourself they are disappointed, angry, plotting. To avoid the imagined storm, you give away leverage, discounted rates, access outside hours, immediate drafts without scope. The pattern builds like plaque. Quick concessions, temporary relief, thicker resentment. Your future inherits these shortcuts as laws. Replace panic with policy. Policy is boring on purpose. No same-day changes without a narrowed scope. No after-hours replies. I batch at 11 and 4. I'll confirm once I have the brief. Policies are the sandbags that hold back the flood of invented urgency. People may test them. Do not narrate your refusal. Simply point to the sign and keep walking. Status insecurity prints an invisible bill each morning. You owe more to be kept. You begin paying in extra explanations and favors, convinced you are purchasing respect. In reality, you pay interest on an imagined debt. Over-explaining shows you fear that your word alone cannot stand. Over-favoring trains the room to expect unbilled labor. The market reads your anxiety and adjusts the price of you downward. Run a stark ledger, 2 columns, cost and return. The cost is time, energy, money, peace. Return is reciprocity, reliability, respect. Tally the quick calls that ate an afternoon, the few notes that reopened the project, the just checking messages that kept your mind leashed to someone else's clock. If returns are thin, end the subsidy. Replace interest payments with invoices. Here's what I can do by Thursday. Anything else moves to the next sprint. Replace essays with headlines. yes, no, or yes. If modern life rewards reactivity, feeds give medals to the fastest tongue, not the truest map. The group chats mistake presence for leadership. You are not required to be the first voice. You are required to be the responsible one. Responsible voices decide with evidence, speak with weight, and leave room for repair. They do not tour the room with a tray of apologies, hoping to feed everyone's doubt. If you've already overspent, explained too much, defended the undefended, offered access, you can't afford repair without theater. I overreacted. Here is the final answer. I offered more than I can deliver, resetting to this scope. I read silence as urgency. I'll wait for the brief. The adult voice is not dramatic. It is exact. Exactness is the antidote to the shadow's speed. Underneath the reflex is grief. You grieve the times speed saved you, the rooms where performance was love's price, the nights when silence meant danger. Honor that grief. Then choose a different ritual. Let the present be ruled by what is true now, not by what was true when you were small. The live microphone can become a guarded instrument. You can hand it to your depth, not your fear. Individuation is the long apprenticeship to your own timing. You learn to let the arrow rest on the string until you have a target, not a tremor. You learn to meet flames with brick, not gasoline. You learn to feel the first wave of panic, nod at it like an old neighbor, and wait for the tide to turn before you place the next stone. The room begins to recognize a new rhythm. People speak more carefully to you because you answer from ground, not from gust. One more truth in daylight. Those who require instant access to your nervous system are not your people. Those who respect your pace will remain. They will learn your windows, adjust their tasks, and meet you where your clarity lives. In their company, your voice slows, your sentences shorten, and your choices move farther. You become the person who can be trusted, with fire, because you no longer toss sparks in every direction when the wind picks up. You will relapse. You will send a long message, apologize for the air, and defend a ghost. Catch it sooner next time. The distance between reflex and revision is your real progress. That distance becomes a life where your dignity is not the coin you spend for peace, because peace no longer has to be bought. It is the air you keep by choosing how and when to breathe. Breathe, ask for evidence, answer once. The room watches the weather in your face. Thunder gathers, and you try to outshout the storm. You think volume will move mountains. Instead, it moves you to the front where the arrows fly first. The louder you get, the easier the path around you becomes. Your emotion turns into a road others travel to their goals, and you are left carrying the dents. Quick cuts. Midnight. You double text, "We need to talk." Then send another with an urgent voice note. At 6 a.m., you are inside a heated thread, typing fast enough to blur. Someone suggests just one more task in the stand-up. You accept publicly to prove you're committed. You tag 3 people for visibility. The room exhales. It has found a shock absorber. They keep driving. Feel the body. Heat climbs your neck. Fingers tingle. Breath drags shallow. In Jung's language, a complex has seized the steering wheel, an old pattern that equates visibility with safety and intensity with influence. You perform feelings to avoid the abyss of silence. But visibility is a magnet for tests. Tests want a reaction. Reactions become spectacles. Spectacles become the story of you, animated, available, absorbent. This is the spiral of filling. A pause enters. You rush to stuff it with tone urgency, sarcasm, righteousness. The room learns your levers. If they stay quiet, you get louder. If they push in public, you pledge in public. If they dangle one more, you take it on stage. Each scene writes a small treaty. They bring friction, you bring foam. The cost is a strategic position. While you manage waves, someone else sets the shore. Cold realism. Public memory is pattern, not reason. People forget your motives, but remember that you react. They recall you typing at midnight, volunteering at noon, apologizing at dusk. Inside chats you never see, the shorthand hardens. Ping him, he'll light up. Push scope during stand-up, she won't refuse on camera. Wait, he'll take it. You hoped emotion proved care. It proved access. The brand sticks. Always available, always animated. Brands travel ahead of you like weather reports. Visibility without vectors devalues weight. The more air you take, the less ground you hold. Meetings start to orbit your temperature rather than the decision. You become the warning flare and the first concession. Deadlines slip toward you because you cushion the blow. Praise arrives, passionate, committed, and so does the quiet demotion. Strategy moves to someone with fewer waves. You are invited to react, not to rule. Meanwhile, the self splits. In public, you perform compliance with bright intensity. In private, you count bruises. You resent the faces you later reassure. You rehearse calm you can't keep. The persona polished host, loud protector shakes hands. The shadow tired animal with good memory keeps the ledger in the dark. The more the persona spends, the more the shadow seethes. You call the tension stress. It is a civil war. Jung's medicine is not silence for its own sake. It is integration. You do not amputate emotion, you yoke it to a method. Mood cannot hold a line. Method can. Begin with a quiet ritual that replaces reflex with rule. First, breathe. 10 slow counts, send a message to the old courtroom in your chest. No trial tonight. Second, frame. Name the decision and the 2 viable options so heat has walls. Third, term. State the rule that chooses metric, date, threshold. Only then speak. Short sentences. Carryable words. Translate fire into form. Replace midnight essays with daylight offers. Here is the scope. Price holds until Friday. Replace public pledges with private routes. We'll discuss the add-on offline. Submit a change request. Replace heated threads with criteria. Green if defect rate under 1%. Roll back otherwise. You are not colder. You are clearer. Clarity is warmth that doesn't burn. In modern scenes, in sales, you stop sweetening unasked. No surprise discounts to quiet a pause. You send one priced offer with an expiry and let silence sort fit from fantasy. In dating, you replace midnight confessions with daylight plans. Saturday at 2 or next week. In teams, you swap rally speeches for checklists and owners. When a stakeholder performs urgency in public, you do not mirror the theater. You move the request to a ticket with scope, time, and cost. Theater feeds appetite. Process feeds trust. Reclaim strategic position by reducing surface area. Stop volunteering where decisions are not being made. Move debate to rooms with owners, clocks, and consequences. When someone floats just one more in public, answer with sequence. After sign-off, this is phase 2. If they press, repeat the sequence or price the ask. Do not enter the theater of righteousness. Build a hallway to the contract. Expect protest. Systems formed around your visibility will miss the free cushion. Some will bait your volume to reopen the old road. Let them. Do not pay tolls with your nervous system. Answer once, with terms, then exit. Repetition, not rage, teaches the room. Over weeks, your brand updates. Not the loud absorber, but the steady vector. Emotion doesn't vanish. It is trained to arrive where it buys movement. Tend the inner repair. The part of you that learned to earn love with heat will feel homeless at first. Give it work. Alert you to real danger, not to every quiet. Let it bark at deadlines, not at pauses. Feed it with small kept promises. Sleep when you said, ship what you named, say one clean day, keep 1 hour untouched for the work that deepens you. Self-trust thickens like muscle when reps are counted. Then watch the maps redraw. Rooms stop testing you for sport. They approach you with terms. Deadlines stop falling toward you. They balance across the team. Praise shifts from passionate to predictable. You speak less and move more. The loud man becomes a quiet instrument with sharp edges and clean uses. The shock absorber is retired. The strategist returns. You will still feel deeply. Feeling is not the enemy. Leakage is. You will still raise your voice rarely, on purpose, attached to a lever. You will still be visible when the decision needs a face and a signature. But the daily theater ends. Mood bows to method. The persona greets at the door. The sovereign holds the ledger. The shadow, leashed and loyal, guards the gate instead of chewing the furniture. The room will not change overnight. You will, and because you do, the room will have to. Less heat, more law. It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles. You have been performing heat, thinking passion would carry you across the river. It never did. The river answers to bridges, not flames. It was never love, it was terms, timing, and teeth. The unreactive man does not wrestle with every wave. He governs the flow with posted rules, deliberate pace, and quiet enforcement. He does not shout his intent. He makes the room pass through his structure. From feelings to statutes, values are wind until they meet a wall you can lean on when your pulse is wild. Write rules that hold when you're angry, tired, hopeful, or hurt. Response windows, non-urgent messages answered in 2 daily blocks, strategic matters within 72 hours, true emergencies by phone only, agenda gates, 30-minute meetings by default, 60 only with a pre-read and decision list, no document, no gathering. 1 reminder policy, you invite once, you remind once, then you withdraw. Consequences, missed deadline without notice narrows scope and adds buffer. Late-night drama triggers morning-only replies. Repeated flakiness moves access to written planning for a probation period. Post the scoreboard in your calendar, notes, auto-replies, and templates. When the room surges, you point to the wall and keep the clock. Picture the midnight text. You awake? Old you bled sleep to look generous. Statute your answers at 9. Mornings work free 12:31. A colleague calls for a 5-person sync with no brief. The gate replies, share the 2-pager, comment async. If needed, we meet for 30 with decisions listed. A date cancels twice with glittering reasons. The statute says, when ready, propose a day, time, place. No proposal, no crossing. This is not coldness, it is conservation. Your borders stop being emotions and become architecture. From performance to procedure, performance burns, procedure scales. The room should work against your structure, not your nerves. Replace charisma with choreography. Open meetings with the spine. Problem, stakes, choice, cost. Run 2 clocks, a talk clock and a close clock. When talk time ends, summarization begins. When the close clock ends, decision or reversion triggers. The owner speaks first, critics test second. The decider speaks last to fix the premise and close. Tempo becomes law. Urgency becomes evidence, not a weapon. Modern life rewards the loud until a system appears. In negotiation, the counterpart floods you with stories. Procedure does not flinch. You write 4 words: price, scope, timeline, penalties. You listen, then anchor. Given capacity and your date, phased delivery is the workable premise. Milestones here. Approved today or the window closes. In family matters, old fights sprint on pain. Procedure slows them to walking speed. We discuss 15, list options, and Choose from 5. If we have no choice, we revert to the last stable plan. Your credibility no longer depends on your mood. It rests on the mechanism that runs even when you're quiet. Romance obeys the same physics. Someone seeks your glow but avoids structure. You don't audition for warmth. You offer a plan and a cutoff. I'm free Thursday 7 or Saturday 6. Confirm by noon tomorrow. If confirmation fails, the mechanism, not your temper, closes the door. Respect rises because the door behaves like a door. You become a coastline, not a puddle. From debate to documentation, arguments are street theater, records are courts. You end noise by moving power to paper. Decisions, owners, dates, logged, visible, boring. After each meeting, send the one-page ledger. What we decided, who owns it, by when. What we'll do if silence persists. If someone disputes, you do not relitigate feelings. You cite the record. Paper ends the supposed misunderstanding that thrives on air. In product work, you stop drowning in alignment. You publish a decision register, D14. Ship core now, risky feature in patch. Owner, Priya. Date, 12th. Fallback and revert to last stable plan if testing fails. In sales, scope creep becomes a change request with price and clock, not a debate about kindness. In your circle, apologies become repairs with timelines. Acknowledged missing Friday. New plan. Reschedule Tuesday 6. My initiative. If missed, we cool 72 hours. Documentation cools the temperature because it raises the cost of pretending amnesia. The unreactive man treats his tools like ministries. Templates for invites, scripts for declines, forms for requests, a public schedule. He does not trust adrenaline to compose policy. He installs the policy before adrenaline arrives. When challenged, he does not perform his virtue. He repeats his terms. When baited, he does not speed up. He lets the talk clock expire. When pressured, he does not argue intent. He shows the ledger and points to the deadline. You will be accused of being rigid. Smile once. Mercy is your choice, not their leverage. Write exceptions the way a state writes a pardon, rare, specific, recorded so compassion does not become precedent. You will be told your pace is harsh. Harsh to whom? To panic and delay, yes. To work and trust, no. Closure is kindness to the future. Predictability is kindness to the nervous system. Examples make the metal ring. Your mornings used to shatter under pings. Now you touch messages at 9:30 and 4:30, then build in the quiet. Your team used to argue inside fog. Now initiatives cross gates, owner, metric, date, or wait outside. Your relationships used to chase heat. Now they follow calendars. Smaller promises, kept reliably, expand access. Applause fades, results remain. Rooms reprice you because you priced yourself on paper, on clocks, with teeth that do not bark but bite on schedule. Understand the triad. Terms are the map. Timing is the engine. Teeth are the enforcement that keeps both believable. Without terms, you drift. Without timing, you stall. Without teeth, you invite raids. With all three, you become the man whose silence sets tempo, whose policy calms storms, whose record ends debate. You will not be the loudest. You will be the axis. Stop performing fire. Build bridges. Post the rules. Move at the pace you can defend. Let the paper carry the weight you used to carry with your throat. And when love finally appears, it will not demand your collapse to be felt. It will pass your gates, match your tempo, and live under your law. Calm law, steady clock, quiet consequences. Steel wears a calm face while it makes clean cuts. You are not here to perform emotion. You are here to keep the room on the rails. The unreactive protocol is simple. Hold the mask, swing the blade, leave no blood on the floor. 7 steps. You will practice until they run you more than you run them. Step 1. Breathe, then clock. Before you answer, take 60 to 120 seconds. Inhale low, hold for a beat. Let it go slower than it came in. While the surge drains, set a decision deadline. I'll choose by 4:15. Confirm by noon. We close this in 10 minutes. That short pause buys cognition and seizes tempo. In dating, a bait text at midnight meets your morning window, not your pulse. At work, a panicked ping meets your clock, not theirs. In family, a guilt voicemail meets your Sunday slot, not Saturday's dinner. The breath steadies the hand, the clock gives it aim. Step 2. Frame in one breath. Name the decision and the criteria in a single sentence. We're choosing speed versus certainty by Friday at 4 p.m. We are deciding the budget versus scope for Q4. Tonight is logistics, not history. One breath, then silence. If anyone drifts into feelings or biography, repeat the frame like a toll gate. We're still choosing speed versus certainty by Friday 4 p.m. You are not dismissing emotion. You are protecting the track from a runaway train. The mask stays neutral because the line is doing the work. Step 3. 2 options, visible costs. You present 2, maybe 3, never 9. Price each path and stop talking. Ship the minimal version Friday and accept rollback risk, or delay 1 week for tests and accept market risk. Close the cafe at 7:30 for 90 minutes, or Saturday at 5 when we have longer. Renew 12 months at a discount, or pay month to month for agility. The pause is part of the blade. Dithering becomes expensive when the bill is read out loud. People make adult choices when fantasy no longer offers free rides. Step 4. Access protocol. Interruptions become decisions when they pass through gates. Office hours, pre-reads, reply in blocks. 15 minutes, 2 options, decision owner named. Send the brief by 6 p.m. We decide at 9:10. I reply in the morning, mid-afternoon, and evening. Deep work, training, and recovery. Live on your calendar like paying clients. Dates get windows, not rolling improv. Friends get 2 options and a booking time. Relatives get a half hour with a list. The protocol hardens your time into lanes that carry value. Step 5. 1 reminder, then action. You nudge once, then you move. Confirm by noon. If noon passes, the slot closes, no second paragraph, no apology tour. Arrive by 7:10. At 7:20, you leave and text later, we'll try next time. Scope is drifting. If it doesn't snap back, the new request moves the date or the price. Teeth without theater. People learn your schedule is not a mood, it is a policy. Step 6. Praise publicly, correct privately. You reward compliance in the open because it teaches the tribe what wins. What Maya did well was cut load by 34% by removing the blocking call. Shout out to Amir for clean confirmations that unlocked Thursday's rollout. Exact action, exact effect. Corrections happen offstage, fast and proportionate. Verify facts, state the breach, apply the consequence, set a review. You missed the handoff. Consequences shadowing 2. We'll check Friday 9:20. No courtroom, no gossip fuel. Allies grow, martyrs vanish. Step 7. Silence as enforcement. After terms are posted. Stop arguing. Let non-response and rescheduling do the teaching. Threads that try to reopen decisions meet your quiet. Only new facts earn another pass. Silence keeps your mask from cracking and turns discipline into gravity. The room learns that your calm is not emptiness. It is a law whose bailiff is time. Scenario library rehearse until automatic. Flaky dates. Breathe, then clock. You reply in your next block. Frame. We're picking one time this week or we skip. Options. WED, 6, 20 minutes. Bookstore steps or sat for longer. Price, if plans keep moving, I'll pass for now. One reminder, lock by noon. If silence or fog returns, you let the slot vanish. If she confirms cleanly, keep it short and on time. Praise reciprocity lightly after, thanks for the clean confirmation, then step back into your day. Scope creep clients. Breathe while the urgent email lands. Frame. We're choosing scope versus date for Friday's release. Options. Keep A and ship Friday, or add B and move to the 28th. Price both. Access protocol. Send the revised brief by 6 p.m. We decide at 9:10. One reminder, then action. Document the choice. Choice A. Owner, Lena. Review, Mon, 9:20. Public praise for the clean data they provided. Private correction if the change policy was ignored. Silence answers, midnight theatrics. Your mask stays neutral because your log speaks. Guilt-tripping relatives. Breathe through the hook. Frame. This is about time, not love. Options. Sunday 4:35. List 2 tasks. Or next Sunday same window. Price. No list, no slot. Access protocol. Text the tasks by Saturday noon. One reminder, then action. If guilt arrives instead of details, the slot drops quietly. At the next dinner, you praise what worked. Thanks for having everything ready, and keep correcting 1-to-1. Your calm face absorbs the storm. Your cold moves set the forecast. Chatty teams. Breathe while the thread balloons. Frame. We're deciding reliability versus features this sprint. Options. Freeze now and stabilize, or ship 3 small features with known error risk. Access protocol. 15 minutes live with pre-read. We decide at 10:20. One reminder to stay on scope. Then you choose. Name owner. Set review. Praise the clear memos publicly. Private correction for side campaigns. Silence meets attempts to relitigate without new metrics. The channel cools because your cadence is colder than the panic. Micro behaviors that keep the mask steady. Sit still. Hands parked. Voice 1 shade lower than the room. End lines in periods, not upward. Lilt. Count 3 beats before speaking. Write your closing sentence before you say it. When you decide, stop. The blade is the stop. Language bank for heat. Framing. We're choosing X versus Y by time. Options. 2 paths. Each has a bill. Access. Agenda. Or we move. Reminder. Confirm by noon. Action. Slot closed. Praise. What X did well was behavior. Result. Metric. Correction. Policy breached. Consequence now. Review. Date. Silence. If there's nothing new, we proceed as posted. Walk away. Not workable under these terms. Why this works. Unreactive is not numb. It is governed. You take the flame inside your chest and place it behind glass where it warms judgment rather than scorches it. Rooms want this. Teams crave a steady drummer. Dates respect a schedule that does not beg. Families breathe easier when love has lanes. Friends relax around someone who closes loops instead of opening scenes. Expect accusations. You're cold. Translation. Your time stopped being free. You're controlling. Translation. Definition killed my fog. You're distant. Translation. Manipulation lost oxygen. Smile once. Return to the steps. Your mask is a mirror. Their words reflect their need. Your moves are a map. They reveal the road. Run a 1-day drill. Morning. Breathe. Then post a decision deadline in your first meeting. Midday. Require a pre-read before an afternoon call. Move it if it doesn't arrive. Afternoon. Present 2 priced options. Choose on time. Evening. Offer 1 window for plans. Wait. Night. Write 1 public praise. Schedule 1 private correction. Close your phone at the block. You will sleep like a person who carries a sword without swinging it in circles. Over weeks, your face will look calm because nothing inside you is begging. Your moves will look cold because they respect the clock. You will still be generous, but from a seat that has armrests and a rule book. People will come to you when it matters because you make endings arrive and beginnings clear. Breathe first. Set a clock. Frame in one breath. Offer 2 options priced by daylight. Gate access so interruptions become decisions. Remind once. Act. Praise in public. Correct in private. Then let the quiet do the teaching. The mask stays smooth. The blade stays sharp. The room stays sane. Calm face. Cold moves. Clean ends. Order conquers without a trumpet. Your face stays calm. Your moves stay cold. And suddenly rooms stop boiling. You trade noise for gravity, anxiety for ritual, and your life begins to run on rails that survive moods and bait. Peace from predictability. Cadence is kindness. You post your terms and you keep your timing. Replies in set windows. Meetings that begin with purpose and end with owners and dates. 1 reschedule per plan, never a third. No debates after midnight. If contempt appears, the thread closes. Because cadence is visible, stress drops. People know when you speak, how you decide, and why you exit. You stop rehearsing 100 versions of yourself to match every room. The policy answers first, you follow second. Choices speed up because the rails already exist. It is warm, not soft. Firm, not cruel. You protect your sleep, your work, and your word, so they can protect you back. You see the shift in small scenes. A stakeholder shouts, urgent. Your ritual converts heat to options, smaller scope now, full scope at the next slot. A colleague tries to drag the meeting past sunset. The timer chimes, and you close with owners, dates, and the next visible step. A date pings at midnight with mixed tone. Your rule protects mornings, and your reply lands at 10 with 1 clean invitation. Family brings a storm. Your house rhythm keeps dawn for silence, not drama. Predictability is mercy wearing a uniform. It lowers the pulse, clarifies the map, and keeps foolish wars from starting. Freedom on both sides. Clear rules are doors, not cages. You publish how to approach, how to escalate, how to repair. People can step in cleanly or step out cleanly. No theater, no guilt invoices. You refuse hostage situations, no strings hidden in favors, no favors disguised as emergencies. Authority becomes respect for time. You are generous with choices and strict with costs. Objections by noon, decision at 2. Here's my time and place. Join if it suits you. Either answer is data, not drama. Restraint becomes kindness when it preserves autonomy and keeps everyone's calendar honest. This generosity upgrades the water level. Juniors speak earlier because the landing is predictable. Seniors speak shorter because the format hears them once, not forever. Vendors send tighter proposals because delay has a cost. Even exits improve. Standards are public, misses are measured, closings are private and final. You do not need speeches about respect. The rulebook produces respect by removing confusion and rewarding clarity. You can like someone and still be finished after the second broken promise. That combination, open hand, steady spine, turns pressure into peace. Compounding authority. Keep the cadence for months, and your presence gains weight. Your yes is deliverable, your no is terminal, and your maybe is brief. Teams plan around your tempo because it is real. Politics shrink because outcomes arrive faster than rumors. Documents sharpen. Meetings shrink. Messages shorten while their signal rises. You do fewer things with more finish, and finish is the loudest proof in any market. Prices drift upward not because you demand them, but because you won't chase them to the bottom. Your brand hardens. Reliable, selective, calm. Quiet enforcement is not coldness, it is conservation. You save the wattage you once burned in apology and argument, and you invest it where it multiplies sleep, training, craft, care. The compound effect is simple. Motion produces proof. Proof reduces debate. Reduced debate produces more motion. After a season, your calendar introduces you. People expect you to be on time or not at all. Both are respected. They arrive with specifics. They speak straighter. Rooms settle by reflex when you enter, because the climate you bring is predictable. A calm face, cold moves, and clean outcomes. You do not try to control people. You control terms. You do not chase approval. You cultivate gravity. Your policies outlive your moods. Your timing carries half your power, so your voice can carry the rest. This is the quiet victory, a life that governs itself. Decisions that land on schedule, and respect that stays because it is earned by ritual, not sold by noise. Calm face, cold moves.